Good morning. Here we are, Friday, June 12th. Coach Tio, how are you doing today, buddy? How's everything?
I'm doing great. Um, I'm excited about this one. I can promise you that. Very excited.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I want to share with everybody is also about this book, right?
Yes.
And I picked up this book when I first heard about it. And I said, wow, it's not a big read, it's a small little book, but it's a great book by Admiral William. And when you think about the message he delivered, if you guys are okay, I'd like to play the video um, so that we can see what the logistics or even the idea of make your bed, because that's today's topic. And Coach Tio actually asked me to make this happen because he heard something and our other show that we do, which is called New York City Experience. And it's really interesting when we can take a concept and make it part of who we are, or maybe it's who we've been all along. So let's take a quick look at the video. Let me share that with everybody. Give me a second to put it up here. Hopefully it comes on. And there it is. Now I got to find where that tab is so I can play it. And that's the thing with StreamYard. Sometimes you got to go looking around. Nope. Give me a second. I will find. Oh, I think I found it. Here we go. Let me play this video for you guys. Take a look.
To me, basic SEAL training was a lifetime of challenges crammed into 6 months. So here are the 10 lessons I learned from basic SEAL training
Do you see
that
it?
hopefully will be of value to you as you move.
Is it playing?
It started playing, but it kind of went, it's going in and out.
Okay. Let's restart it and see how that works. And it's weird because I'm seeing it on my end. Let's give it a shot.
To me, basic SEAL training was a lifetime of challenges crammed into 6 months. So here are the 10 lessons I learned from basic SEAL training that hopefully will be of value to you as you move forward in life. Every morning in SEAL training, my instructors, who at the time were all Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barracks room, and the first thing they'd do was inspect my bed. If you did it right, the corners would be square, the covers would be pulled tight, the pillow centered just under the headboard, and the extra blanket folded neatly at the foot of the rack.
Now, is that playing, Coach Teo? Awesome. Now, imagine if your bed had to be inspected every morning. Would you pass inspection? That's critical because this was an incredible feat that they had to do first thing when they woke up in the morning. So let's keep playing.
It was a simple task, mundane at best, but every morning we were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed.
That was powerful. So make your bed. Great read. Like I said, it's a small book. Pick it up. Go to Amazon. Pick it up. I'm not promoting the book, but I'm just saying it'll change the dynamic of maybe you making your bed.
Yeah.
But the funny thing, and the reason I bought the book is because the concept is simple, but yet I already have been doing it.
Mhm.
Coach Teo, in the military, you served 23 years, and I'm so grateful for your service, my brother. And
Thank you.
it's an honor to call you a brother, right? To
Yeah.
me, it's a huge honor. And tell us about what you figured. If at first it was the silliest thing and like, I can't believe they're making me do this. And then later on, you were enforcing it.
Yes, sir. Man. Mhm. It's I didn't realize, seafood, that this topic would make me feel the way I feel right now, bro.
Mm,
I really didn't. Um, I would probably say, seafood, the number one thing that I'm feeling right now is real gratitude. Like,
mm,
no fakeness, bro. Like, I feel gratitude right now. And
mm,
I've seen that video of Admiral McRaven a billion times. So many great leaders that I was able to reach out and touch, that I was able to shake their hand, that I was able to say, hey, thank you, sir, or thank you, ma'am. Uh, by way of them utilizing make your bed
mm,
to drive a point home to us. Some things, as you know, seafood, being who you are, in the world of martial arts, it becomes second nature. And for me, seafood, my mother made me make my bed. So I always say, shout out to my mother, Wilma
yes.
Jean. Yes, Wilma Jean, man. Wilma Jean is my mother. And I know she'll see this. So on behalf of Sifu and I, Mama, we love you.
Mhm,
We thank you for whoever passed that wisdom to you. Something as simple as make your bed, and how that could correlate with so many amazing things throughout life. Um, but yeah, by the time I got to military boot camp wise, um, I was used to making my bed. If I didn't do anything else, seafood, I I was used to making my bed because mom, she's a clean freak. Like my mom, she's about cleaning.
mhm,
We grew up in a very clean home, so I took that pride, brother, that real pride in my mom taught me how to clean. My mom stressed to me, my brother and sister, over and over and over and over again, and still does to this day,
mm,
that cleanliness is the closest to godliness. That's her phrase. Cleanliness is closest to godliness. If you don't want to clean, the Lord washes our sins away. Keyword wash. So why don't you want to wash? So,
mm,
yeah,
yeah.
seafood. That video is very, very powerful. But I heard it the other day, for the individuals that will hear this, see this, and uh, please understand that we're all learners. I'm a learner. I say that wholeheartedly, Sifu Rafael. I'm a
Mhm,
learner. I don't have a doctorate degree. Uh, I'm not the smartest or sharpest tool in the shed. But what I know I am is someone who wants to continue to learn, develop, and grow. And I help others learn, develop, and grow in whatever way I can. And this past Tuesday, I was listening to the New York City Mastermind Experience show with my brother Sifu, brother Jose Escobar, and our brother Lancelot Theobald. And I heard those two gentlemen, Jose Escobar and Lancelot, speaking about, in the past, they've traveled with Sifu. They've traveled to different events, different conferences, summits, and there's been times that, as we all do, we get us a room together and it save us a little money on the back end and enjoy one another's company just overall. And those two gentlemen and their experiences, it was so powerful to hear. And I encourage you to go back and watch it. It's still out there. Go to Seafood's Facebook page, Jose Lancelot's Facebook page, and watch the past episode from this past Tuesday. Great show, man. Like that probably to me is my favorite of all the ones I've watched or participated in. Uh, because that one really touched on layers, you all, that man, you can't speak leadership without the things those gentlemen were expressing. But staying in tune with it, Lancelot basically said, paraphrasing in his own words, I'm paraphrasing his own words. He basically said, I've learned so much from Sifu. Just being in a hotel room and Sifu making up the bed in the morning. He was like, man, we're in a hotel, man. We have housekeeping. We've got maids. Like, why is Sifu making up the bed, man? Like, didn't we pay for someone to come and do that after we leave or whatnot? He said, but Sifu, without fail, will make that bed up. And then Jose came in and he spoke about and expressed about the pristineness of how Sifu makes the bed. That's when it hit me, Sifu. Ah, that's when it hit me, man. That's when I said to myself, that is unified leadership. Thank you, Father God. Thank you, Father God, man. It was so much gratitude just in that moment because I said, yo, that's the fusion, Father God,
Mm,
that brought Sifu and I together. Was having a clear understanding that for Sifu, it's not about having a housekeeper. It's not about someone, actually coming in and making the bed and that being their job. Sifu's going to take action and take ownership of any environment in which he's in. And he's gonna always be consistent in that. He's going to ensure that I don't I laid my body in the bed. Why would I expect someone else to make that up for me?
mm,
I laid here, not the lady. She laid in her bed at home. She may be a single mother with 5 kids that she's coming in this hotel every morning cleaning all 500 rooms just to make ends meet. But
mhm,
Sifu within his spirit knows, hey man, just like Admiral William McCraven said, man, I make my bed and wherever I am. I guarantee you, knock on wood, if you were locked up, Sifu, you would find a way to get up in the morning in that cell and make that bed pristine. Because it
yeah,
means something. So so that
yeah,
that's where today really stemmed from, man. It just hit me. I said, man, that's a light bulb lesson right there. If there ever is one, make your bed, make your bed. And just throwing it out there, a couple key things that I heard him say, just a few of my notes, aspiring to be real warriors. He stressed that.
mhm,
Why do we take so much pride in making that bed, having the discipline to make that bed? Not only just make the bed, but I'm talking make the bed like pristine, as we say as Marines. You could flick a quarter. You could flick a quarter, Seafood, and that quarter will bounce off that bed because it's made so tight. We get down to taking laundry pins and tying it up underneath the rack to where it's so tight, man, you could pour water on it and the water would just smoothly just roll off of it in the sheets. 18 inches of white. 18 inches of white. Every United States Marine across the globe knows 18 inches of white, meaning doggone, you got a 6-inch fold, and then the rest of the sheet, is 12 inches, which gives you 18. Uh, we tighten up our pillow a certain way. Uh, we fold the pillow in half and then stuff it in and then tuck the access fabric of the pillowcase back down inside the middle of the pillow. So it's a uniform. So again, man, uh, gratitude. And he also says, gives you a small sense of pride, man.
That's it. Every
Gives
day.
every single day, Seafood. And the little things done right carries over to the big things, obviously. And if you're having a miserable day, you could come home to a made bed, bro. I stress that to my sons. My wife gets so upset at me because I'll start cleaning before we leave the house, Seafood. And my wife is a Marine and she's clean 24/7.
Mm.
And I'll start cleaning before we leave. I'm just if there's a cup, a stray just sitting there on the counter, I'm trying to put the cup away. And, I'm making sure the toilet seats are down. And my wife was like, "We gotta go." She's ready to go crazy. But I stress it to my sons that when we come back home, just like the Admiral just said, man, we're gonna feel so much better when we walk back into this clean home. We could be gone for a week. We could go on vacation for 2 or 3 weeks, Seafood. Come back soon as we walk in the door. Alarm's going off. We shut the alarm off. Walk in, that initial smell. Home. We look around and everything is tidied up, well kept. Man, you feel better. So yeah, Seafood. It's a powerful topic. It really is.
It truly is. And Coach Tio, um, not every young man going into the military makes their bed,
That's a fact.
but it becomes part of their regimen. And if
Mhm.
they don't make their bed, then there is consequences. But
Yes.
the consequences in the the regular life outside of military are there as well. Because think about this for a second. I'm asleep, I wake up, I throw the covers off, I get out of bed, I shower, I do whatever, and I leave. I come back home. And some people have said to me, I don't make my bed. And I said, why? I said, because it looks comfy when I get home. I'm like,
True.
okay, fair enough,
Okay.
fair enough. What else is comfy in your life?
Mm,
Think about that. Because growth doesn't come from staying comfortable. Growth comes from doing the hard things. And if you expect life to be comfortable, you will never grow. And so
right.
when I try to say that to them, sometimes they don't get it. And I'm like, okay, let me ask you a question. If you go to a hotel and the bed looks comfy, in other words, the maid didn't make it. We're going to say maid, but she's actually more than a maid. She's a human being.
Right.
So if she said, I think the next guest is just going to want this to feel comfy for them, so I will not make it. I will leave it like the last person left it.
Mm,
How would you feel? Because, hey, they want you to be comfortable. They're like,
Right.
"Oh, no, I'm not sleeping in somebody else's bed that wasn't made," and I'm like, "Okay, guess what? One of the things that is done it should be done in every hotel is they strip the bed fully.
Right.
They strip the bed, and then they make it with clean sheets. We hope." That's what I'm saying. We hope, right? And then they make it really pristine. And the reason they do that is so you feel like you're walking into exuberance, if you will. You're
Yeah.
walking into a place that's going to make you feel like, I like this room. This is a really nice room.
Yeah.
The bed is well made. I'm cared for. So if you want that when you go away, why wouldn't you want that when you come back home?
Right.
That's the key. So one of the things that we also have to consider, listen, it's not about making the bed. And if you can't make it where a coin flips off of it, that's fine. But many people wait for motivation. This is what we wrote in our description, right? Many people wait for motivations, but here's the difference. Leaders take action first. That's
Yes.
making the bed is the first action. And that's not my first action, by the way. So whether it's making your bed, starting your workout, spending time in prayer, that's my first action. Prayer.
Yeah.
I wake up like I did this morning. Yes, I was up at 3:17. I don't know why, but I was. And
3:17. That's pretty early,
first thing I
Sifu.
did, first thing I did was pray. I thank God. That's my first, foremost. Nothing else matters if I don't pray, if I don't wake up in gratitude. Thank you, Lord. I have another day. I have another chance. I am
Yeah.
so blessed. And thank you for the gifts you've given me. And so I do that, right? And whether it's spending time in prayer or even tackling an important task, the first action of the day creates your momentum. Don't worry about the neighbor. Don't worry about the next person. You worry about you. It truly sends a message to your internal self, to who you are, who you're becoming, and also about the control of the choices you make every single day. And it may be hard at first if you don't do it,
Yeah.
but your habits and your direction will lead you to the promised land. And when I say promised land of who you're meant to be in God's eyes.
Yeah.
Why are you here? What is your mission? What is your purpose? If you say, "Oh, I don't know what my purpose is," then drop everything, go look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Look at yourself. We all have a purpose.
Yeah.
Maybe making the bed will clean some things up for you.
Mm.
Now, Lancelot
Wow.
did say something. He goes, "After I saw you do that, Sifu, I started I woke up early because he wakes up around the same time I do, anywhere between 3:30 and 4:30. And he said, I went to make my bed and my wife was sleeping and she got mad at me.
Right. Right. Right.
And he goes, she's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm making the bed. She's like, get out of here. I'm sleeping still. Leave it alone. But so the thing is, he said he folded his area, right? Without disturbing her. And yes, listen, I get out of bed and my partner, she's there, and I'm not gonna ruffle her feathers so I can feel good about making my bed because I'm always up many hours before she is. So I just pull my covers over my area. But here's the thing. The other day, she said to me, did you get this done? Did this happen? Did that happen? I said, all of that plus this, and that, we're done. She goes, oh
Yeah.
my God. She goes, "You do more things than most people do in the morning."
That's
She
right.
goes, "You do everything, right?" And for me, it's always about setting myself up for success,
Yeah.
for success every single day. Now, listen, I was watching the Knicks the other night. What
Yeah.
I thought they were going to lose. I'm like, oh my God, they're not doing it. They're not doing it. And they did a magic trick, right? They said we're going to go for it, and they did. And it was so tight at the end. It was incredible. But the intention never left.
Yeah.
They were down by 29 points. They slowly came back up. But things don't have to happen all at once. Sometimes it is slow. Sometimes you have to build it up. Good morning, Danielle.
Yes. Good
And
morning.
when you consider the little things that accumulate, like the Knicks did, 1 point at a time, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point,
Yeah.
everything matters. But you need to learn to win the minute you wake up.
Yeah, man.
The minute you wake up is when you have to win.
Mm. It's an amazing topic, and what I love too, Sifu, is the real timeliness of things. We're talking about making your bed,
Mm,
how important that is, how it correlates with so many other things in life. Our sister Daniela just popped up in the chat, man, and immediately it just made me think about her father.
mm.
Immediately, like I said, in real time, man. Shout out to Big Bear. And
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you still have
Great
not
book. And great book, too.
purchased Big Bear Wisdom, man,
Mhm.
I'm telling you, just like the book from Admiral McRaven, it's so many nuggets and so many jewels, so many gems, just like that book, man. Big Bear Wisdom. I got it over here. It's
Yep.
somewhere close by. Um, Here it
I have
goes.
it in my other office, so I can't pull it out, but yes, I have it as well. Yep, Big Bear
Yeah,
Wisdom.
man. Big Bear Wisdom.
Yep.
This book, man, make your bed. Like it's so many make your bed moments in Big Bear Wisdom. Daniela Ramon's father, Big Bear. And this book touched me in ways that, man, holy Lord God Almighty. Vincent Pinta, December the 12th, 1940, January 30th, 2023. Um, Big Bear Wisdom, man. Make your bed. And I can honestly say that's why it touched me so deeply, because Big Bear was not in the Marine Corps. He wasn't a Marine. But it's gentlemen like Big Bear, Daniela's father, that so many great Marines that I know, to include her husband, Emilio, learned the principles that we're still teaching today from gentlemen like Big Bear. Just wise men, just wise individuals that grabbed their bootstraps and built it from the ground up. Um, and just to hear you gentlemen talking about it on Tuesday, I've seen that video, like I said, countless of times. That's actually a commencement ceremony that he's speaking at.
That's right.
Obviously, he's a Navy SEAL. Navy and Marine Corps has very close ties and bonds, being that Marines get on the ship with the Navy to go wherever in the world for contingency or just routine deployments, looking for a contingency type thing, if that makes sense. But shout out to brother Jimmy Woods. Jimmy Woods, chief in the Navy,
Yeah.
man. Beatrice, that's a part of the veterans inaugural with us in the Born to Risk series. So many great, veterans out there. Paul McFadden, United States Navy. So
Yes.
so they all know, like the Navy knows. The Navy is like our cousin, man. shout out to the Army and the Air Force. Much love to them as well. But the Navy's like Marines cousins, like close cousins that grew up on the same block with you type thing. And they understand a lot of the things that we do as Marines, and we don't we don't feel uh angry or anything about the certain elements that they take and implement into their own world as the Navy. They're not as strict and stringent as we are, but when they need to reach in the cookie bag and say, "Hey, we know the Marines do this. Let's grab that and implement that into
Mm.
our repertoire," they do so. And so with gentlemen like Admiral William McRaven, man, he's a Navy SEAL, man. In my opinion, Navy SEALs, they the baddest of the bad, bro. Like they're the Alis of Special Forces military, in my opinion, because it's just certain things that Navy SEALs do that you have to be a Navy SEAL to really understand that, and that's something I'm not. I'm not a Navy SEAL, but man, my admiration and respect for those individuals, is top notch, and the simple things that they do. I know one thing they do out in San Diego by the Coronado Bridge. Man, they put their individuals that's going through buds training. They just drop them off out there in the water, man,
Mm.
and just they're just treading water. There's no time hack. There's no time limit. It's just they drop them off in the speedboat to pull off, and they just out there treading. It's midnight. They're still treading. Sun comes up. They're still treading. It's just two. It's two
Mhm.
individuals, and they're looking at each other and they're treading, bro. And then that boat will pull up. You all right? They're freezing cold, man, and the boat will just pull off. So it's a lot of mind games, psychological, but they're basically seeing the test of will. Who's going to tap out first between those two?
Mm.
And that boat will pull back up, and man, them dudes is like literally like Leonardo da Vinci in Titanic, man, where he was just like Rose, Rose, he's freezing. Same thing with those guys, and one of them will tap out. He just can't take it no more, hypothermia or whatever. They'll pull him up out, and then they'll grab the other one out. And all they wanted to see was who leadership wise is able to stand that test of time. But those simple things like that, as hard as they are, still goes back to making the bed. So I encourage anyone, man, um, look at it, from the most simplistic thing, man, in my opinion, and that's it's just personal pride, man. I know people that don't make their bed, Sifu. I know people that, you know, why should I make my bed? I'm just going to go to work and come back home and get right back in it. Or nobody's coming in my room to see my bed. I love the photo that you captured for today's episode. Unified leadership thumbnail with the messy bed behind us. Because people look at that and they see that and it's like, man,
Mhm.
what's that all about? Um, I use the word messy, man. Like I just I know the importance of it, especially as a parent. Many of us, we're older, we have children. Some of us have grown adult children. So we understand that feeling of walking in our child's room and that bed's not made, or there's toys all over the floor.
Right.
The blinds is still open at night when it's dark outside in their room, or the water bottles. My son is a water bottle hoarder. My youngest son, he have 30 water bottles in there. We're like, okay, so we know where all the water from Sam's the other day went to. It's in his room. So but my point is, uh, it's our duty to teach. It's our duty to raise them in the manner in which they're going to go. And there's so many lessons, man, that just come from just making your bed. Like my son and I, we go on walks every other day. There it is,
There's
man.
the picture. There's the picture.
Man, I love that seafood. I love it. I love it so much. My son and I, we go on walks. You know, I tell him all the time, like, hey man, walking is therapy. It's therapeutic. And there's sometimes I challenge him. You know, I push him a little bit harder. And as I push him, we could be going up a hill or something, and man, and he wants to quit so bad. And I'll tell him that same correlation. Like, man, the personal pride in you making your bed is the same exact personal pride as you getting up this hill. You could get up this hill, son. You could do it. Just like you could discipline yourself to make that bed. And I could picture you, Seafood, literally, bro, in the hotel room, you know, butt crack early, making the bed. You know,
Before I go to the gym, because every hotel I go to, I find out if they have a gym, where is it, and when is it open? If it's 24, then perfect.
yes.
It's like 6 a.m. I'm like, oh man, I gotta do other workouts before I wait for the 6 a.m. gym. But yeah,
Mm,
before I leave the room. So when I was recently in Philly with Jose, he was still in sleeping. I made the bed, went worked out, came back, showered, and I'm coming out of the shower, and he's like, "Good morning." I'm like, "Good morning," because let me just make one thing straight. When I share a room with someone else, it's never in the same bed. Just so everybody's clear.
right. What do they say? Pause, pause. That's the new
Listen,
saying.
no way
Pause. Yeah.
I'm gonna sleep with another dude in the same bed or another girl, right? Because I am devoted to my girl. So
Yeah.
there's none of that ever. So consider this, right? I have some really wealthy clients who have maids. We're going to call them maids, right? Because that's what they call housekeepers.
Yeah.
And the kids get out of bed, they go, they leave, whatever. Then the maid comes around, picks up the clothes that are on the floor. They're not even in the hamper, even though the hamper's right there. They have to pick up after the kid. They make the bed. They wash the sheets. They do all these different things while the kid goes to school, comes back. Everything is pristine. Now, what lesson did that kid learn? Zero lesson. Zero. So for my clients, one of the things I say to them, because their kids are not behaving, and I said, what chores do they have? Oh, we have a maid. Okay, let me rephrase that. What chores do they have? Oh, they don't have chores because we have a maid. I'm like, let me rephrase that. You're asking for my help because your child is not behaving, not doing well in school, acting out, all these things. What chores do they have? None. Well, I think it's time that changes. If you want my professional guidance, your kids need to be responsible for something in their life. And I always say, do they make their own bed? No, we have a maid. I said, I understand. And the problem that I see, and I've heard it many times, is that the parents will say, I'm not letting my kid make the bed because they do a terrible job. First of all, you counted them out. Don't
Right.
count your kids out. So what if they make a terrible bed? Who cares? The fact that they made the effort, that's what matters. So what if you have to make it up after they leave? Let it be, or don't make it up. Say, you know what? You did the best. Good job.
Yeah.
Not good job in making the bed. You made the effort. And if we don't allow them to make an effort, how are we expecting them to do well in school? How are we expecting them to do well in life? How are we expecting them? Oh, we're just going to hand them everything. When they get married, are you going to go give them a maid as well? Or is their wife their maid? What? I just said
Mm.
that out loud. What? So listen,
Ooh-wee.
so do
Oh,
yourself a favor. If you want your kids to be self-sustained, start making them make their bed. And here's the deal: praise them for doing it.
yeah, bro.
And if they did a terrible job, say, hey, do you think that's the best you could do? And you know what every kid is going to say? I'm going to say 99% of the kids,
Yeah.
I could do better. Okay. And here's my favorite words when somebody, I always ask this every single day to my young clients. I said, could you do better? And they say yes. You know what I say next? Show me. Show
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Because the proof is in the pudding. I don't care if you did a terrible job, but could you improve?
Right.
The minute they say yes, I don't take their word for it. No, that's a mistake. Don't say, okay, I believe you. Say, okay, prove it. Show me. And then they have to redo it.
Mm.
And if we can start training our children to do that, we will have a better country tomorrow.
Hey, you all out there. Sifu is with children every single day. And in the capacity in which those children are in, they are learning so many life lessons from being on that dojo mat. All the way simple things as how they go and use the restroom and have the accountability to come back and get back into the fold of the training session. As a Marine drill instructor, same thing. It's we tear excuse me, we tear the beds up. You know, shout out to Leon, share this on here. Her sons are Marines.
Mhm.
And man, our whole job as drill instructors is to cause hate and discontent. You know, using the word hate, you know, I've become a softie now. I'm a big softie. Because I did so many hateful things to some of them young recruits in the name of discipline, in the name of praying within my spirit that they become better men, better people, better young ladies. Um, but I'm a big softie today. But when I look back and reflect on those times, you know, in space and all the beds that I tore up, you know, taking canteens and taking the cap off and dumping water all over their rack, or we call the bed the rack, for those of you all out there that don't know, and stripping their racks and making them tie all their sheets together and you know, just we did things that would create such a hardship of something that simple, making their bed, bro. But we would see throughout the course of the training day, every single day for 13 weeks, how that simple aspect of making their bed correlated to the bigger things. It correlated to them jumping off the helo pad, you know, on the rappel tower. Because if you're afraid of heights, you're afraid of heights. There's no turning back. I've never bungee jumped in my life. And it's not because I'm afraid. It's just I've never done it. You know, I got friends that did it, and I'm good. Or at the theme park, the one that goes that leans you back, and then it just and it takes off up into the air. You see everybody passing out when they get up to the top. I've never got on that either.
Mm.
But seeing people overcome their fear, correlating back to something as simple as making it extremely hard for them to make their bed, for them to take their shoes or what we consider, you know, our boots in their running shoes and put it perfectly up under the rack. Like it has to be perfect. It has to be mirrored all the way down both sides of the squad base. So, but to see how it correlates, man, on graduation day, it's almost like college, man. It's like getting a degree. It's like anything else, man. You put in the work, Nobody's watching. The nights you're crying, the days you're stressed the heck out, all for that culminating moment. And then you look back and you appreciate the lessons.
That's right.
It's same thing with light bulb lessons, man. I get people that will reach out to me and they seen a light bulb lesson from 3 years ago, and they're like, "Oh man, it just touched me, To. That particular one that you talked about X, Y, and Z." And for me, I'm like, "Well, man, you didn't see the last 30 that I did in the last month. You're talking about 130, but it's the same aspect of it. It's like, man, it everybody receives and consumes differently. Um, and when I think about, something as simple as they don't make their bed or they don't have chores. Uh, I think Daniela said it in the comments, like later on in life, there's going to be some issues, there's going to be some problems. For some of them, you know, all they know is a maid, so they're going to probably most likely think in their mind, I have to be in position to carry on this tradition to have a maid as well. But it's like me as a PK. I'm a preacher's kid. They say preacher's kids are the worst because we're funneled into that aspect of church. We're funneled into, oh, you can't do wrong, you can't, oh, your dad's a preacher, you have to, all these things. And it's like we rebel against the thing that is our overarching number one environment, and we
Right.
end out in places we have no business. So there's a lot of truth to that. Rich kids, same thing. They could easily end up on drugs. They could easily end up in situations that it's like, man, some of these most simple aspects were lost in translation somewhere along the way. Not saying that's every child, but the bottom line is what we're stressing today on unified leadership is make your bed. Just make your bed. If you lay in it, you make it. Because we use that same phrase all the time. Like, hey, you make the bed or you lie in it, you got to make it, or whatever the case. Make your bed, man.
Yeah,
A
I
miserable
gotta
day.
tell you, it's such an important aspect. Um,
Yeah.
when I was married, my house has always been clean, right? You've been to my facility. I have a 10,000 square foot facility. Was that place clean or?
Hey, it was nice, super nice, bro. 100%.
But here's the thing, right? Because it was either me or my ex-wife, and we used to clean. We had 3 levels to our house, and we had an outside pool, and I'd be cleaning the pool, she'd be cleaning here. We'd have a party every weekend, the whole deal. And when people leave, there's stuff everywhere, but the next day, pristine again, right? And I said, we don't have a maid. I'm going to do something really nice for her because, she's doing all these things. So I hired a cleaning lady. I said to her, hey, the house is clean. You don't have to clean today. Oh, but I said, no, I got somebody coming in. I already paid them. They're going to be here at this time. Oh my God. Oh my God. She got all crazy and cleaned the house before the cleaning lady came.
Mm,
Don't mind you, I paid the lady already. So I'm looking, I'm watching, and the cleaning lady comes. And my ex-wife, I said, well, tell her what you want her to clean. She had her clean everything she already cleaned, which
mm,
basically was the whole house, right? So she was there like for 4 hours cleaning what was already clean. But the woman said, wow, this is one of the cleanest houses I've been in.
yeah.
Thank you for letting me be here, but I feel like you guys don't really need me. Do you want me to come back? And so I turned around I said, is it okay if I let you know about that? Because if it's up to me, yes. So I interviewed my ex-wife after the lady left. And I said, what do you think? Did she do a good job? She goes, yeah, she did a really good job. I said, so now she does a really good job. It can alleviate you and give you some time, some freedom, so you don't have to do it. I can
Right.
have her like 3 times a week. I'll pay for it, no big deal.
Yeah.
And she goes, "No, I don't want her here." I'm like, "Why?" "'Cause nobody does it like me."
That's right,
I
bro.
said, "But you saw how she did it. I saw her doing it the way you did it." She goes, "Yeah, but no, I don't spend your money because I'm gonna wind up cleaning before she cleans, and I'm probably gonna clean when she leaves." I'm like, "Okay, I'm not gonna spend my money."
Right. Right.
So, but it was a true understanding of what some people have been raised to do because her mom was also the same way. We could not walk into her house without shoes on. And
Right.
even today, I never walk into my own house with my shoes on. I have a foyer, everybody's shoes goes off, and when my sister used to come to our house, I used to have slippers just for her.
Yeah, man.
So I would do that, and so what wound up happening is that people would wanna come to the house, and I'm like, "Oh, do you mind taking your shoes off?" And some people are offended by it. And so at that point, I'm like, "Oh, okay." But I don't force anybody to take off their shoes. But when I walk into somebody else's home, it's automatic. But here's the funny thing. When my kids, and you met one of them, when they were little and they went to somebody else's house without anybody saying a word, my kids took their shoes off.
Yeah. You could
Why?
always see it, Sifu.
Why? Because they learned that's the way it's respect.
Yeah. You
I
could
do it
see
in
it.
my house, I'm gonna do it in your house.
You could see it with the kids, Sifu. Like kids that tell the truth on the parents, like every time. Like what's happening inside that household will show outside that household. We could talk about etiquette of eating. We could talk
Mhm.
about, like you said, taking your shoes off. Uh, so many different, ways of looking at it, man. I usually take my boys to the pancake house up the street, and it was an older couple that was already sitting down when we sat down in the booth right next to us. And our food came right when they were leaving.
Mm.
And me and my boys, we reached out, grabbed each other's hands. Bless this food we're about to receive for the nourishment of our body, for Christ's sakes. Amen. And when we opened our eyes and went to our plate to start eating, the couple was standing there right by the table. Old couple, man. I looked up and the man looked at me and he said, "It warms my heart
Mm.
to see you all praying together." He
That's
said,
beautiful.
that's going to carry you all for a very long way. God bless you. And
Oh, yeah.
his wife,
Beautiful.
they walked out. And my youngest son, who's 12, he was so just, it blew his mind. Like it was like it took that older gentleman and his wife to confirm,
Mhm.
how important it is for us to pray over our food and
Yeah.
things of that nature, man. So it's real. This topic right here, man, we could take this topic in so many different directions,
Without
but
a doubt.
it's simple, man. The little things, um, doing the things that makes you feel better. Like some people, it's their car. If you don't make your bed, but you keep your car clean. You know what I'm saying? Most people, you see the consistency all throughout.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it.
Message card. Yep.
Like with Marco, man. Like I could tell Marco is your son. Like I could tell just how he conducts himself.
Mhm.
He tucks his shirt in, bro. He's got the belt around his waist. His breeches are pulled up. Nice shoes. He speaks with a confidence. I know you're his dad, Seafood, just like with my sons. If you're around my sons, you'll be like, wow, these dudes are like little geniuses. But just like with the kids that you train, You know, we're the way we are with our children for reasons, man. Like one, we love them. They're ours. You
Right.
know, I'm not the one that we go to Walmart and I have to beat my kids in Walmart. You know, my kids are well behaved because their mom and their dad are Marines. Like it's just that
Hello.
we don't treat them like Marine seafood straight up, but there's a lot of aspect that we really do. Even if we
Mm,
say we don't, we do
right.
because it's still it's embedded within us. We cleaning up, you know, being respectful, saying yes sir, saying yes ma'am. Uh, you know, looking people in their eye when they really speak
Mm,
to them, not looking at the ground, and you know all the things that we learned over time that helped us to be successful, bro. So it's special, man.
absolutely. Absolutely. I also want to share that we're doing the summit for everybody who's interested in joining us. You need to take a minute and understand what we're actually doing with this summit. The summit is truly special because it's not just Coach Teo and myself. We have these other nine incredible human beings who also love leadership like we do. This is why it's called unified leadership. So if you're interested at all, get your tickets today. We have two ways to enter. One is general admission. That gives you 7 uninterrupted hours of leadership. Wow. Powerful individuals, 7 hours. You're like, oh my God, I can't do 7 hours in front of a screen. You're right. You shouldn't. So therefore, we have the VIP. The VIP gives you the recordings afterwards. So you can choose, maybe I'm going to come in the morning, I'm going to take a little break, I'm going to have lunch. You can have lunch while we're chatting, right? And you can have snacks because you can do it in the comfort of your home. And
Yeah,
for those who do the VIP, not only do you get the recordings, but then we're going to go to a different venue and do a virtual Q&A and mastermind. So this is the benefit. $47, you get all 7 hours. You can watch it. For $97, you get the recordings. You can watch as often as you like, and you get the Q&A. Not only the Q&A, but some additional nuggets that you're going to be walking away with. If you come to the summit, I guarantee you should get a clean notebook because you will fill it with tons of information, things that you can take action on. Because this is not fluff, people. We're serious when we come to leadership. Coach Theo, what is your take on what we're doing come August 21st from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and then we're going to go in a different venue from 3:45 to 5:15, another hour and a half, just impacting. What is your take?
yes, that's it. That's the key word, impacting. And you know, can you put the photo back up there real quick of
Absolutely.
when I look across the board or across the photo, starting with you and I, we're the left and right lateral limit, the left and right lateral limit. And then when I make my way from, you know, you all the way across back to me, these individuals particularly, uh, they want to win. And when I say win, meaning win the game of life and sharing life in a way for us all to be better. You all, there's no mistake about it. The tension that's going on around the country, around the world, it is real. Like we see a lot of things happening. Shout out to Gabby. Gabby's up in Canada. She can see it from Canada. She knows there's things that's happening in America right now that is not happening in Canada. It doesn't matter about affiliation, all that. If you love the Lord, in which we do, you see it from the actual aspect of revelation. You see that, hey man, things are happening and situations are happening, and it's incumbent upon us, the individuals that you see on this screen, to be the forefront and the keepers of the gospel, to move forward and do the right thing to the best of our ability, man. And what is that? On August the 21st, the ability that we each possess, we're coming together as a unified cohort of real leadership, not for each other's personal gain and for us to cross our ankles and, kick back with our palms clasped behind our head. No, it's for us to strengthen one another, to go back into our communities, to go back into the environments in which we all, roam, and be better for it, and to give it back, just like today. Each one of these individuals, from Stephen Miller to Renee to Lancelot, uh, I look at the faces and the time that I've been able to spend with them, Sifu. A few of them have come on the Unified Leadership Show with us. The
Mhm.
the back channel discussions that we're having, they're really dedicated to leadership.
Without a
That's all.
doubt.
Yes, they really are, and that to me, man, is the impact overall. Uh, I could sit here and talk about it in so many different ways, just like I could talk about any other event, any other conference, any other summit, any other webinar. But the reality is, I know what you and I came to this table to do. I know what our mission is, brother. It's a real mission. It's
Mhm.
in that mission, we've thought about the end state of that mission. It's not a one-off. It's not just, oh, we do this one time, oh, whatever, and then we on to the next thing. No, this is a building block. This is making your bed over and over and over again, making your bed over and over again for the long haul down the road, man. It's about longevity, man. And I think for anyone that comes, like you said, Seafood, it's one thing to log in first thing in the morning, blink your eyes, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're literally smoked, and you got to go cook dinner. The kids got a soccer game, got all of these different things happening. It, within that time span, you come and you get what you need. It's going to be available for you to receive that. I'll say it again. You come, you get what you need, and whatever time block in which you could dedicate to that time, you're
Mhm.
going to be able to walk away within any segment of that time, because we've designed it that way. We've designed that from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you come in at 10 in the morning and stay till 11, you got enough to go back to your environment. You're going to cook a little bit different. Your kids is going like, wow, mom, you got a better pep in your step today, mom. Because of that 1 hour that you dedicated to your personal development, being around great leaders and sharpening your blades. So thank you, Sifu, for allowing me to explain that, bro.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things is that this is not a typical summit, just so everybody understands. This is not a typical summit where you have one person talking at you. This
Right.
is a discussion of everybody in the space having a conversation on a certain topic and the way we move around with the topics. So think about $47 and $47, even for 2 hours, if you spend 2 hours, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's so easy. But we're giving you 7 hours. And if you want to keep it and you want to sustain it, you do the $97 because you can go back and say, let me look at this again. Oh, wow. Let me take some notes on it. Let me take action because
Right.
that's what we want you to do. We want you to take action. We don't want you to just come on and go, oh, yeah, that was nice. Because then
Right.
you wasted your time. Don't even, if you're going to come back and you're going to go, that was nice, don't do it. You do other things with your time. Please don't waste your time. We don't want to waste your time. It's not about wasting your time. It's about impacting your life.
Yeah.
If you want to see real impact, come get ready to take notes. But the most important thing you have to do after our event is take action and have a game plan. We're going to go through that in Unified Leadership on the summit.
Yeah.
Coach Tio and I are going to give you a bullet list of the actions that you can start to take. We're going to do that. Guess where? In the mastermind.
Yeah, bro.
In the mastermind is where we're going to
Yeah,
say, this is action 1, this is 2, this is 3. And if you don't like the order we give it to you, we're just going to give it to you in an order. You can mix it up to your order. What plays best in your heart, in your life? We're going to give it to you systematically. But remember, we've been doing this a long time. And if you don't like the way we do it, that's cool. But take the system and make it yours. Because it's not about me. It's not about Coach Tio. It's not about any of the incredible speakers we're going to have. It's about you. How will you take action?
Yeah, bro.
Make your bed.
Make your bed. That's it.
Do me a favor. Join us August 21st, but make sure you make your bed first. Make your bed on August 21st, because that will be the first action you take that day. The second most important action is to get pen and booklet and get ready to take some notes, as I take notes all the time. So look, I take notes, but what do? I take my notes and then I put them in a remarkable 2, because then I take all what was in my head and I put it on paper, and then I look at it again, and then I put it somewhere else where I can make more sense of it. So that's just one of the tips I'm going to share with you now. There's going to be so many come August 21st. So are you procrastinating? Oh, I don't know if I can do it. Or are you taking action? Take action. That's my last words for you today. Take action for yourself, for your life, for your family. Take action and stop living in poverty. Poverty starts in the mind. That's where we got to get rid of it. Start saying, I am worth more. I am a millionaire. I'm a billionaire. But if you think poorly, you will be poorly. You will live poorly. I don't care if you're on food stamps right now. Borrow the $47, because those $47 can change into $4,700, $47,000, $4,700,000. But without taking the action, you will stay stuck. I promise you that.
I told one of my good buddies last night, before we go, Sifu, he reached out to me. We grew up together. He's one of the best DJs, scratching on the turntables, mixing. And he told me he's dealing with some struggles or whatnot. And he said he wanted to start his LLC. Actually, he did. He started the LLC, but he hasn't done anything with it. I said, oh man, it's right there at your fingertips. I said, you have a phone. The information is there. And I said, matter of fact, do you have Chat GPT? He was like, I do. I said, watch this. And we're going back and forth on instant messenger.
Mm.
I put in his LLC, prompted 5 things that he could do right now, starting from scratch with his LLC. And man, I promise you, it spit it out. I copied it, pasted it, sent it to him. He said, wow. And I said, yeah. I said, man, so all I'm saying is you have the golden hands. This boy is literally one of the best DJs to ever walk the planet. Natural talent. He's been on the turntables since he was a little kid.
Mm.
But life has taken its turns, and he's gotten away from that skill set. in other areas of his life type thing. So I say you have the golden hands, but you're sitting on them. I'll leave it at that, man. Don't sit on your hands. You know, it's I was telling Emilio the other day, man, creation. The more we create, the more we will see the harvest. You know, create, collab with other people. You know, come with us on August the 21st. $47 is not a lot of money, but it's a lot of money if it's a lot of money. It's just every situation is different. And we
Hang on a
have good.
second. Hang on a second. A lot of money? You mean for the same people that go get a six pack on a Friday night?
Hey,
Hello?
yes,
Hello?
no, it's true, Seafood.
Is that
You're
true?
absolutely correct. I mean, it is true. And some will spend the 47 with us on the 21st, and on the 22nd, we'll still go get another six pack. But they will be better for it. And if they don't implement, like you said, Seafood, no, you're 100% correct. Because again, it's making your bed. You either make your bed or you don't make your bed. You either make your bed with pride, or like we were saying with the kids. I mean, a kid is 10, 12. We could keep grooming the expectation for that bed to be pristine. But if they made the attempt, if they made the effort, that's all we're saying to you all out there that's listening and dialed in with us this morning, the 12th of June, 2026. Make the effort, man. You have to stretch yourself. When I think of seafood training, I could see seafood tying his ankles up and stretching himself beyond what his mind thinks that his body can actually do. And then when he accomplishes that, now he could go a little bit further and a little bit further. And instead of him looking parallel with his legs out, now he might be bowed up a little bit more because he's
Mm.
stretching it even more. And there's a purpose for that. There's a purpose for him to be that limber. Same thing with you. There's a purpose. If August the 21st is for you and you feel that inclination in your heart, go come with us today. You know, go. I've never been to a sales class in my life. This is Coach Timothy T.O. Clay, Timothy O'Neill to be exact. I've never been to a sales class. You know, I don't classify myself as a salesman, but I do understand the etymology of words. Sell is sell. However you describe it, however you look at it. And all I'm saying is sell yourself on the notion that I want to get better in 2026. And I have an opportunity with these gentlemen that I could feel their realness, I could feel their passion. I could sit and listen to them for an hour talking about making your bed and realize that, hey, I can relate to a lot of things that's coming out of their mouths. And we usually go for an hour because Seafood has other shows, things to do. So we bled over a little bit. It's 13 minutes over the hour. And some people are just tuning in. Some people are catching the tail end of this. The purpose of August the 21st, 2026, 11 days after my 50th birthday, you all.
Woo-hoo.
I'd rather spend the 21st becoming a better leader than anything else. I'm past the going out and partying. I'm past the wasting my time and procrastinating and woe is me and waiting on something magical to happen. And faith without works is really dead, especially in 2026. There's like I told my friend last night, man, there's no excuse, brother. There's no excuse. Don't reach out to me with this whining crap that you can't move your needle forward. Because trust me, every opportunity that's out there, you have to get off your hands. And when you put your hands back on that record, that album, like I told you, I said, bro, you're an OG now. You're 50. You need to teach your skill set. You're still trying to figure out how you're going to get on stage and all the applause and cheering and how dope you are as a DJ. No, bro. There's young individuals out there right now that, man, will pay you top dollar just to learn your skill set. So again, like I told him, like you just said it, Sifu, you have to change your mindset. If your mindset is, I will not give that black man and that white man 47 of my dollars because I'm mad at what's going on in the world right now, you'll stay stuck in that same rut, in your own way. Because trust me, man, again, for the last time, man, Seafood knows what he's talking about. I don't run with just anybody, man. I'm not wasting my time with just anybody. Seafood knows what he's talking about, man, because he's lived it. He's a real leader. And God told me when I place someone in your life that you could collaborate with and you two could forge in my name, man, that's where I will be, where two or three gather in the midst of me and my name. And that's what we're doing, man. And I would love for you to be there. Teddy in the chat, I'd love for you to be there. Leon, Gabby, I'd love for to be with us. And you have a voice. It's not like you're just sitting there watching a movie and no interaction. We're building this out to where, man, it is a real leadership think tank. And what you bring to the table, we all bring to the table, man, we could go back to our environments, our community, and we could go to sleep and say we did our part. And we'll get up the next morning, we'll make our bed and we'll do it all over again. So, yeah, man, it's real.
So
All right, Sifu.
for anybody who just is chiming in, go back and take a look, because we definitely talked about make your bed. And if for any reason right now, if your bed is not made, we're about to log off. Go make your bed. Coach Tio, hang on. Everybody else, have a blessed day. We will see you next week. And next week, we're going to have some guests. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. See you guys next time.
Peace.